This is the edge of Europe, a 20-foot wall of steel and wire. The only problem? It's not in Europe. It's in Africa. This is Ceuta, a modern Spanish city where you can use euros and your phone roams on a European network. But step over that fence and you're in Morocco. The common assumption is that this is a colonial leftover, a piece of Africa Spain simply never gave back. But the real story is far stranger. It's less a conquest and more like a divorce. To understand how this piece of Africa became so fiercely Spanish, we can't start with Spain. We have to start with Portugal. Let's speed through the early history. For centuries, everyone wanted this spot controlling the gateway to the Mediterranean. Then, on August 21st, 1415, a Portuguese fleet storms the city. This is the birth of the Portuguese Empire. For the next 165 years, Ceuta is a key Portuguese fortress. But in 1580, the Portuguese king dies without an heir, and Spain's King Philip II unites the two kingdoms under one crown. Suddenly, Ceuta is part of a super empire, and for 60 years, while officially Portuguese, it drifts into Spain's orbit. Spanish merchants, soldiers, and settlers integrate into the city. Then comes the moment of truth. In 1640, Portugal declares its independence and war breaks out. Messengers arrive in Ceuta. Time to rejoin the motherland. It's time to choose. Put yourself there. You're a city official. Your wife's family is from mainland Spain, just across the strait. Your children's friends all speak Castilian. The soldiers defending your walls are paid by Madrid. Do you bet on a newly independent Portugal, fighting for its life? Or stick with the global superpower that butters your bread and guards your home? For Ceuta's leaders, the choice was pragmatic. In an unprecedented move, Ceuta's nobility pledges loyalty to Philip IV of Spain. They are the only major territory of the entire Portuguese Empire to refuse to rejoin Portugal. They chose to stay with the in-laws. For 28 years, the situation is legally ambiguous. Then, in the 1668 Treaty of Lisbon, a war-weary Portugal officially recognizes its own independence and formally gives Ceuta to Spain. But a signature on a treaty is just paper. Ceuta's Spanish identity wasn't going to be written in ink. It was going to be forged in fire. In 1694, Moroccan Sultan Moulay Ismail decides to drive the Europeans out. He lays siege to Ceuta. His army expects a quick victory. They were wrong. The siege would last for 33 years. It's one of the longest sieges in all of human history. 3 decades of constant threat. Generations were born and died inside these walls, knowing nothing but a state of siege. This shared struggle, defending their homes alongside Spanish soldiers, did more than any treaty. It erased the last traces of Portuguese and burned in a new identity, Spanish. When the siege finally broke in 1727, Ceuta's place was secure. This history is why Spain argues it's not a colony in the modern sense. Its Spanish identity predates the scramble for Africa by centuries. They also point out that their control predates the modern state of Morocco. And frankly, this is the most difficult part of the story. There are 2 histories here, and they do not agree. For Morocco, this is simple. Look at a map. Ceuta, or Ceuta as they call it, is part of their land, a final remnant of colonialism that must be returned. This centuries-old dispute is the source of constant diplomatic tension. It's what makes this border a flashpoint. The tension has even inspired films like Ado, which capture the desperation of those trying to cross. But the real-life drama is even more intense. Recent mass crossings are often framed as an invasion, but they are the human symptom of this deep-rooted historical conflict. Today, Ceuta is a unique mix of cultures. Christians, Muslims, Jews, and Hindus lived together in this Spanish fortress city, but their home remains one of the most contested places on Earth. So, how did a piece of Africa become Spanish? Not by a Spanish conquest, but through a city's pragmatic choice during a family divorce. It was a choice that was then sealed in blood, defended for 33 years against all odds. That decision, made 4 centuries ago, is the reason that steel fence stands in Africa today, marking the edge of Europe. If you were a resident of Ceuta in 1640, which side would you have chosen? Thanks for watching. If this was worth your time, a like and a subscribe help more of these get made.